Denny Blanco, my man, how you doing?
Like we always do at this time. It's in the game podcast, baby. We back.
That's right, here on the Ball is Life podcast network, which you can find on ballislife.com. Also on youtube.com/Ball is Life podcast network. Also on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you have not checked out the previous episode of It's in the Game with Joy Taylor from FS1, go ahead and check it out. It's on the network, on the podcast network, on YouTube. We appreciate your love and support. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But Denny Blanco, we are here. We got some interesting news coming out of New York. RJ Barrett gets a rookie contract extension, 4 years, $120 million. And I know the last month and a half, his name has been dropped in trade rumors regarding Donovan Mitchell from Utah. So, first of all, big time congrats to RJ Barrett and getting the bag. That's number one. Number two, for what I've been able to see and hear the last couple of hours, that that's the bag. That's the bag. Listen, 120 mil is not nothing to sniff about. That's a big chunk of change, and he's 22 years old. You know, the ceiling is still climbing for him here in New York. But from your perspective, from your opinion, seeing his name being in the trade rumors, but now it looks like at the current moment he may not be involved in a potential Donovan Mitchell trade to New York if they even happen to get it done. What was your first take of RJ getting the bag? And do you still see a window for Donovan Mitchell to come to New York in spite of the fact that RJ got the bag?
Shout out to you guys. I missed you. I missed you so much. Randy's been away. He got a nice little tan. He's been running a beautiful, successful, and year 22 year tournament, Hoops in the Sun. He's been running it, one of the premier basketball tournaments in New York City.
Well, thank you.
Finished it, and I'm proud of you once again. So I always want to say,
appreciate it.
He's been running back and forth. So now he's had a little time to settle. Now we're back to talk the ish. Okay,
that's right.
Now that we got that out the way, I didn't expect this to be, I thought this Donovan Mitchell trade would be quick, but they're arguing over some little minimal draft here and there. Yeah. I keep seeing it's the names.
Mm-hmm.
Obi or quickly with Grimes and draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many draft picks? It's what's been going on now. Ainge and Leon Rose are in a stalemate. God bless. Either way, you just mentioned the young boy, RJ, the young bull.
That's right.
22, baby. Mucho potential. Okay. So you got him for 4 years?
Yeah, an additional 4 years at $120 million. The Knicks already paid money to Brunson earlier in the summer. They kept Mitchell Robinson for some good bread, and we all know they kept Randall last year for some good bread. So they got some heavy contracts on that side.
No, they're paying out the money as they should. If they want the players, they're gonna have to pay out. That's why I'm hoping that this New York Knicks team can round out with Donovan Mitchell without you guys sparing Obi or or even RJ, because there was a conversation about RJ and I was just like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. So
because you want to keep RJ with, obviously.
Listen,
you want to have RJ and Donovan together, but I know how the shit works. Danny Ainge ain't no easy GM to kind of get by.
In my future, Randy, this is what I see for you. For your future, ready? Close your eyes.
Go ahead.
Close your eyes. At the 1, Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
At the 2, Donovan Mitchell. At the 3, RJ Barrett. At the 4, Randall or Obi. Now, depending on who you talk to, it's probably gonna be Randall. And then at the 5,
Mhm.
Mitch. Not bad. Not bad. Now,
No,
some of you guys may even want to throw Fournier in the starting lineup. God bless you. He's not
no,
in my. He's not in
no,
my. Thank you. Thank you.
not me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely not me.
I just want to throw that out there just in case somebody's talking about Evan. This is what we're looking at now as a starting 5. So I pray that happens for you. I really do.
Mhm.
Shout out to RJ. The contract is incentive laden. All stars have to happen. All NBAs, etc. But I do not think that's not on his horizon. It will be. So shout
Mhm.
out to RJ in the back.
So I know just about when I say everybody, not officially everybody, but a lot of people have been mentioned when it comes to this Utah Knicks potential deal. I heard Obi, I've heard Grimes, I've heard RJ Barrett, I've heard Randall, I've heard Quickly, I've heard draft picks, I've heard just about everybody. And as a fan, if there was somehow some way to keep Obi and ship Randall, which I don't think that's gonna happen because Utah, I've heard, does not want Randall. They really wanted if
Oh,
they had a bucket of who I want, they would want RJ Barrett, they would want Obi. Not all in one deal. I'll take RJ or I'll take. They love Grimes. They love Grimes. They want Obi and a name that I heard early on but not lately. It's Quickly
yo, listen,
and of course the draft picks.
Danny ain't sat back, saw some tape. So the Knicks was like, "Hey, man, if y'all don't stop putting Randall on this goddamn deal, hey, man,
Like Leon, what you got for me? I got Randall. Time.
hey,
We're not going
hey,
any further if you keep mentioning Randall's
man,
name.
if you don't stop putting that man on
I mean, but why not? My thing is okay. Respectfully, why not? He's an all star. He got 20, average 20 a game. Like, what's the real issue with Randall?
Danny Ainge has been building teams for a period of time. Obviously, he built that Boston team. He's been building Boston, and obviously, he's now building Utah. Correct, and
Mhm.
I think he has an eye for not only talent but team player talent. I
Right.
think he has the eye for that, and he sees Julius Randle
Hmm.
as a player that's not going to add to his team. That's as simple as it's going to get, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Just as simple as it's going to get. Like he's not going to add to this Utah team. I don't
Hmm.
like his. I don't like his game. I don't like that he's not efficient enough. I don't like his usage rating. There could be a litany of reasons why he may not like. He may look at a number, the averages, and be like, "Oh yeah,
Hmm.
whoa." But Danny Ainge is Danny Ainge. He's been around the block, literally.
Right.
He knows what he's seeing. So that's the answer to that. Okay.
Yeah, but the one thing about Danny Ainge, which I might be naive, and it's like, why are you trying to trade Donovan Mitchell anyway? He has 4 years, 3 years to go in his contract. He's 24, 25 years old. You got rid of Gobert. Are you really trying to do this whole rebuild in Utah?
Yeah, you don't want to
And
be there.
I'll
Donovan
tell you
don't
one
want to
thing.
be
I'm gonna tell you one thing. You know who I blame for all this 7 draft picks, and I want this and I want that. I
there.
blame
Get it off your
Minnesota.
chest. Go ahead. Go get angry. Who you mad at?
I blame Minnesota
Why?
because they set the bar to trade all those picks for Rudy Gobert. So Danny Ainge is like, all right, if I got all these picks for Gobert, just imagine what I can get for Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell's a better player, right or wrong.
100%. Go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm
if I get
listening.
this
I'm
for
listening to what
Gobert
you
and I got
present. I'm
five,
listening to what
six
you
picks
present.
for him
Mm-hmm.
from Minnesota, whether it's New York, Miami, it don't matter. I'm trying to get that draft capital back for Donovan Mitchell. So I blame Minnesota for all this back and forth. Why we're at the end of August and Donovan Mitchell is still a member of the Utah Jazz who might still be there come training camp. I don't know. But
I
I
bet
think
you.
Ainge has one thing in mind. If I got that for Gobert, I'm getting the same or more for Spida.
I bet you. I bet your bottom dollar. You Gobert. Gobert. you have to understand the market first of all. That's the first thing you have to look at. You're talking about the actual deal between Minnesota and Utah. And what I was gonna say is, I bet you bottom dollar Minnesota has a better record than Utah. Not because of the Gobert pick, it's just because they have better players at this moment in time than Utah.
I mean, yeah,
Overall,
they'll be better.
yeah.
Gobert, Towns, Russell, Ant-Man. Yeah, they'll be
They
better.
loaded. D'Angelo's still there. They're loaded.
Yeah.
They're loaded. So that's number one. Number two, the market is the market. If I call Minnesota, if I call Utah, and I'm like, yo, that last Utah run was kind of trash. Talk to me about Rudy Gobert. He was looking kind of shaky, baby, on that wing. You want to come off him? What we talking? Utah gonna say, I mean, what do you want? Minnesota's gonna be like, yo, it's gonna be a conversation. It's gonna be a talk about draft picks and what makes sense. And they thought Minnesota was like, yo, if this is your number for Rudy Gobert, we'll take it. We'll take it because he'll take care of our defense. And that's the thing. They made that deal. I mean, for me, when I look at that deal, the person that should be like literally thanking his lucky stars they made that deal is Cat. Now Cat doesn't have to rebound as much. He doesn't have to fight these. He could move. I mean, Cat. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Cat play the 5 or the 4?
I think he plays the 5. I think.
Correct. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I've seen him in games at 5. Maybe he plays 4. I don't recall who plays 5 for Minnesota. That's why I'm just thinking in my head. But long story short story long, now you have Cat that can play a 4. Stretch 4. You dig what I'm saying? So Minnesota looked at it, was like, yo, this makes sense for our player. He could be way better. He's already good now. He could be way better with the help of Rudy in the back line. He could play defense for him. He can rebound for him. Utah was like, yo, listen, we made the run. It's cute. We're not really sold on Rudy anymore. Rudy can go. Let's get all these draft picks, so maybe we can turn these draft picks into something else or stock.
Right.
That's what he did with Boston, correct? Stock the draft picks, and then all of a sudden, here comes Tatum, here comes Jalen, here comes Marcus Smart. This is all draft picks, right? True
Right.
or false? All drafted from Boston. True or false?
There
you go. So let's see what happens. But
let me remind you of
Minnesota gonna be a problem.
Let me remind you of the picks that went to Utah from Minnesota. Forget about the players, because like Pat Bev ain't even in Utah no more. He's in fucking LA. So they got the number 22 pick this past draft, which became Walker Kessler. That's one person. Then a 2023 first round pick, 2025 first round pick. So that's 3 picks so far. A 2026 pick swap for 2027 first round pick. That's 5. And a 2029 first round pick. That's 6.
See, it's first
round
round
for Rudy Gobert. Now, Ainge like, yo, for Donovan Mitchell.
First round could be first round 29th pick, correct?
Yeah, but it's 4 first rounders. Matter of fact, 5 first rounders.
In the draft, you look at the draft, and people look at many of these drafts. There have been some busts. Some guys just think they know they scout the right player, and the player doesn't pan out to be the generational player. Remember, think about how many generational players there are in the draft and where they got drafted. And think about how many players didn't make it. So, you're talking about these picks. You already have Donovan Mitchell. You don't know what these picks will turn out to be. But
then again, it could be used for a future deal down the road. Then Ainge may not pick nobody in the draft. If he wants somebody next summer, listen, I got 3 draft picks for you, and these are going out your way. I get the better player. So, I get it, but I think it's been too much back and forth on Twitter. Every day is, Utah, New York are having conversations. I'm like, yeah, no shit. They're supposed to. Like, all right, what are we doing? What is? Give me the principle. All right, I know Spida's involved. Obviously, I know RJ Barrett's being talked about. I know always talked about. I know quickly. What are we doing? Like, what's the bottom line?
My
Because
bottom line,
either
dude.
Mitchell is going to be a Nick. I don't really know. Like the other team, that bothers me. That could come in last second is Miami.
Randy, do the Knicks need to get Donovan Mitchell? Yes or no?
I think at Mitchell's age, at 25, right? He comes to the position that the Knicks have been really lacking to be like that potential star. Like that goes if Donovan Mitchell goes to New York, he's the number one option on the team. Right now, a lot of Knicks fans are saying, well, right now it's Randall, but he's not really the main option. He's more like a 2, more like a 3. All right, now Spida comes in, and the growth of RJ Barrett can really make Randall the third option, where not everything is not on him. RJ can get you 20 points a game now. Donovan can get you 25 a game. Randall can still get you 20, but now it's not the burden is not all on him. So when you say do they need him?
Do the Knicks need to trade for Donovan Mitchell? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yeah, because you see the landscape happening in the Eastern Conference of other teams getting better. You see what Atlanta did. They got Murray. You see Brooklyn, they kept KD and Kyrie. And you're getting Ben Simmons all together now for a full reload season. Boston,
question mark.
they got Gallo and they got Malcolm Brogdon. Milwaukee is going to be there. Miami's going to be there.
I think Gallo tore his ACL. Salute. I heard.
Philly got PJ Tucker. So a lot of teams. Chicago is still pretty good. They're getting Lonzo back. They got DeRozan. They got Zach LaVine.
So as I'm reading what you're saying in order for the Knicks
to compete in the Eastern Conference for a nice playoff spot that's not in that playing area,
to take that next step, you need Donovan. So you want to be you want second round, round competition. You want second round, you know what I mean? Develop into second round, third round, final, right? That's where you want to develop that, right?
Right. That can eventually entice other players to come later on. So you need the first domino is Mitchell. You need that.
Man, listen, like I said,
the thing is who's going. That's the like for Knicks fans, that's the issue. Like, damn man, I like that player, but I don't want to trade him. But listen, you got to give some to get some. You're getting to a 25-year-old All-Star, 2-time All-Star, 25 a game. You got to give something up.
Let me address something. You also too, just my theory. Utah Jazz. I mean, they draft their, superstars, if you will. And, let's be clear. Before Donovan Mitchell, who's a superstar in Utah? Deron Williams, a.k.a. Andre Kirilenko.
Or D. Will, Kirilenko, Boozer. Utah Jazz.
These guys leave.
Nah.
These guys leave. The only superstar, technically. Correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, because I like to have these conversations because this is what my brain be going, right? Looking like Karl Malone, Stockton. I mean, if you really, really sit back and think about it, players don't stay in Utah.
Once Malone and Stockton left,
players really don't stay in Utah.
And it was D. Will, the Boozers, the Kirilenko era.
If I'm not mistaken, D. Will got drafted by. Didn't he get drafted by Utah?
Yeah, because it was the same draft as Paul. And Chris Paul went to New Orleans.
Yeah, Utah drafted Deron Williams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously Deron went to New Jersey.
Like, listen, speaking of the draft, this is why I get mad.
Tell me why you mad.
I get extra mad because if you just had drafted Donovan Mitchell.
Wait, so are you suggesting? So just to be clear, for people that maybe not have caught on to that, they had an opportunity, the New York Knicks, to draft Donovan Mitchell, and they did not.
You could have drafted Mitchell, not Frank Ntilikina.
Different regime.
And you could have. I'm thinking hypothetical hindsight. You draft Mitchell. You ain't got to give up none of these players to get him now. But I guess that's how the way shit goes. Is it like you mentioned, different regime, basketball people who know what they're doing now. And again, hindsight, if you had drafted Mitchell, we just don't know the development with him being a Knick.
You
In
don't.
Utah, it was like that he was the number one option from day one.
You don't. But don't underestimate scouts,
Mm-hmm.
managers, general managers, the right team when it comes to building a franchise and getting it on, getting it running. And sometimes you don't even get credit, right? For Philly, trust
Mm-hmm.
the process. The
Yeah,
process won. He didn't get credit. The real people know. It's like, yo, listen, sit for 5 years, lose. You'll be good for the next 15. Trust
right.
me.
And
Trust me.
with that part going back to RJ, is that now RJ is now the first Knick since Charlie Ward over 20 years ago to be drafted by the team and re-signed with the team. So obviously you could have drafted Mitchell. You never know. They could have traded him. We just don't know. But I think with RJ's development, obviously it makes it difficult to use him in a trade to get Donovan Mitchell. Now that means that the real avenue becomes the Grimes, my guy Obi, some draft picks, maybe quickly, and you get it done. Like I just like all right. If you go to FanDuel tomorrow and you put X amount of dollars, Donovan Mitchell will be a Knick by the season opener, or is he still in Utah? What are you betting?
He's still in Utah.
Still in Utah.
Yeah,
Opening night.
Danny. I don't think Danny Ainge is going to pull the trigger. I think and he can hold. He can hold all the way to the trading deadline. He can hold till then. He can be like, you know what? Here he is. It's February. Here, you want him now? Take
But
it.
he don't have to. He's under contract for 4 years. Danny Ainge just does not have to trade him.
Exactly. Right, KD?
You don't have to trade him. But my thing is, if you don't trade him, you got to get people to help Donovan in Utah. Who are you bringing into Utah?
I think the strategy is to trade him. It's a matter of when. So I think he's going to go this season. I don't know when this season, but I think he's going to go this season because they're in rebuild mode for sure. They're in rebuild mode, 100%, which is fine. That's what Danny Ainge does. He goes there, he sees the old regime, he starts putting a sledgehammer. Boom, boom. You see, obviously the coach Quinn, he's gone.
Snyder, yeah.
Boom, regime, he's gone now. New
Gobert out of here.
New coaching regime. You get a Rudy Gobert, get him out of here.
They traded Ingles.
Trade Ingles. We don't want. See, just clean slate. And then I build with my players, build with my coaching staff, build with my GM, just like I did in Boston. And then we good money. I see it already. I see it.
So if the Knicks get Donovan, are they a top 6 playoff team? Or do you still say, yeah, they got Donovan, but I still got them in the playing area? They're a playing team?
Yep.
Still?
This team has to gel. This team has to play great defense. You want me to run it down, really?
I'm just saying, you gave me the 5. Brunson, Mitchell, RJ, other Mitchell, and Randall.
Listen to me. Milwaukee healthy.
Yeah. Because I think if Middleton plays in that series, don't get hurt, the later portion, it might be Boston.
I'm not even going to talk about it. Milwaukee healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sixers healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Boston healthy.
Miami.
Chicago, Miami. That's 5 right there.
Brooklyn,
Atlanta. 7. Right there, my guy. 7.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get a playoff spot here, bro. Even with Donovan, you still won't give me a playoff spot.
It's not enough, bro. It's not enough.
You were choking over there, bro.
It's not enough, bro.
You
It's
never
not
know.
enough.
You never know.
You just hear what I just said? He said,
You never know.
I said, yo, those teams healthy?
Okay, so they're a top 8.
Playing 8. You can pray for playing 8.
Because that 7, 8, 9, 10 is playing area. So is New York. Who else is in that playing area? Is Charlotte?
Listen, you 8, 9, you're around there because those 7.
Toronto too.
Not even. All right, Toronto healthy.
And this is why they need to get Mitchell, because if they don't,
hey man,
the Brunson's good pickup. And
I agree with you.
But
I agree with you. Shout out to the Brunson pickup. Shout out to the Brunson pickup. Now, I told you guys, I was fearful defensively because he is not a tall man. However, he's won in college.
Mm-hmm.
He's a winner in the NBA. Everyone speaks highly of him and his work ethic. So he performed in the playoffs. Even in games where he didn't play well, guess what he did? He played hard.
Yeah. And that's what New York loves. That's what they need.
I mean, he shot the games. I remember watching the games that he was off. I was like, he off. But defensively, making good decisions with the ball, running around with Luka, he just played hard, which Jason Kidd loved. Unfortunately, must be the money. So,
and I know once we get into that NBA playoff preview, season preview, and stuff like that, like the Mavericks that made the conference finals, but I don't know about this year. I really, really don't know about them this year.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Dinwiddie's going to take all of Jalen's minutes. That makes sense. And Dinwiddie's a problem. So, they do that over Dallas. But back to Jalen. It's going to take time for them to gel, understand defensive strategy, understand what Tom Thibodeau wants to get from his players, rotations. Will Obi get more minutes? Will Randall be sat down if he's playing terribly? What are the minutes for Evan Fournier? He's a $70 million man. How many minutes can he really play if he can't play defense? So there are a lot of these questions, and there are a lot of questions with a lot of teams. Don't get twisted. There are a lot of questions. Brooklyn, can they gel? Milwaukee, can they get healthy? Atlanta, how are they going to do the two new guards? PJ Tucker being added to the Sixers. What's that going to do? Is Harden actually going to be serious this season with the Sixers? And what does that add?
We got Brogdon in Boston. That's a great pickup.
Then you add Brogdon in Boston. So now you have another who. I said who. Another decision maker.
And see, this
you think that was by mistake?
Which one?
I'm talking about Boston. I'm talking about Malcolm Brogdon. You think that was by mistake?
No.
They looked at that series against Golden State and said, you know what? We need another decision maker on the floor. That's not gonna be bullied. Don't get me wrong; these guys weren't getting bullied, but certain defensive rotations. They had the short guard come in off the bench. White's not tall, right? White's not too tall, but you're talking about now. It's a better defensive team.
Yeah,
and he shoots. If I'm not mistaken, 50, 40, 90.
Brogdon, yeah. And he plays D too.
And plays D. So if we're gonna do a starting five for Boston, what you talking about? What we talking about here? Malcolm, Marcus, Jalen. What you gonna do? Jalen at the 3.
Tatum.
Jalen and Tatum. What you gonna do? Brown, Tatum at the 3-4. What you gonna do? You gonna do? Then you gonna do Williams Tatum. At the 5. You gonna do Williams at the 5. You gonna do Tatum at the 4. You gonna do?
You also got Al Horford. You got Horford.
Get Horford come off the bench. You could start Horford. Yeah, there's so many ways you can make that Boston that lineup That lineup is tough.
Yeah.
So back to your Knicks.
Yeah, back to them real quick. The thing is, if they don't get Spida, the one thing that I would love Thibs to explore, which I don't think he has or has enough, is like, all right, why don't you slide Obi into the three? They've never really experimented with Obi and Randall together. Mitchell, Randall, Obi, RJ, and Brunson. If there's no Donovan Mitchell.
You know what Tom Thibodeau reminds me of? Hey guys, Tom Thibodeau reminds me of, back in my heyday. They had things to heat up things. They had the microwave. You toast the oven. You had those things to heat up things. You had regular traditional oven. To heat up things. Now they got a thing called a Ninja. You familiar with air fryer? Familiar with that, Randy?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Thibodeau's a microwave. All these other coaches are air fryers.
So like he's old school.
If you didn't pick that up,
yeah.
Man, this guy's a forest fire. He just got the twig. Come on, man. When has he been? When has he? He's a great defensive coach. God bless you.
Correct.
Never been an offensive genius. Never. So he's never been radical or just done something. So you know what? Let's do something different. I've always been the one to tell you, bro, if basketball is 4 quarters, basically not 4 quarters in terms of the game, but I'm talking about 4 halves of the season. It's broken up in 4, right? Quarter of the season, right? You see teams adjust. Good teams. They adjust the either starting lineup or the rotation. Good team. Golden State did it. Milwaukee did it. Miami did it. Philly did it. Numerous of teams of adjust. Memphis did it. Whether it's injury or someone playing better, they stay there as a starter. They move because it's like, okay, well, we can't make this work. Let's make this work. Let's move it around. Not your man Tom, baby. Man, Tom Thibs, man. He has to step out. He has to step out into some radical.
This might be the year.
If he's trying to compete with the running 7, I'm calling the running 7 because you want an 8 slot, right? Call it the running 8 because Toronto, I think, is going to get that 8 seat. So let's call it the running 8. You want to run with the running 8, Knicks? You want to run with the running 8 in the East? The Big East, the running 8 in the East. Hey, you're going to have to do some radical. I like that, though. I like Jalen Mitchell, RJ, Obi, Randall, depending on the nights, depending on how big they get. Mitchell starting at the 5, put Obi at the 3, RJ at the 2, big Randall off the bench. Whatever you have to do to get the advantage, just do it.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see, because as we are taping this, Mitchell is still in Utah, and nobody's been traded. So we'll see what happens.
I want to ask you something. What do you think about it? Shout out to Chet. Pray on your foot, brother. Pray on your foot. I pray that you get back healthy and strong. Drink milk. I heard does the body good. What do you think about that, man? Him getting himself hurt, and I'm sure a lot of folks say he should have been playing anyway.
I mean, it was a freak accident. Not like he was backpedaling trying to guard LeBron. Like,
you know what I replayed that like 50 times. You know what I found interesting? LeBron was moving slow.
Yeah, I think Chet got tangled up. Chet got tangled up in his own way. Like, LeBron ain't step on him. He ain't bully him. He ain't shove him. Just
LeBron wasn't even playing full speed
awkwardly, and that was it.
He just did a slow Euro.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a whole different convo on Twitter. Like, now it's going to be the end of NBA players and playing in Pro-Am, which I don't.
No, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. That wasn't Seattle.
Free guys. I mean, you got guys.
But you know how that can start, and then it gets it burns up.
You got Trey. You got Trey Young and his right hand man in Atlanta playing. They did their work. LeBron played a couple of
Yeah,
games. He did work. They've been playing. So yeah, no,
yeah.
I
You
don't.
just saw Gallinari get hurt overseas.
I mean, I see Luka. Luka's giving work
He
out there
got hurt.
overseas. Luka got hurt.
No, I'm saying Gallo
No,
got hurt
Gallo got hurt. Gallo got hurt. But yeah,
overseas.
Luka was just playing overseas right now. Even Joker. So I mean,
But
that's technically
they're not gonna say, "Yo, you overseas teams, you can't play no more." I'm not sending my guys over there no more.
Matter of fact, the NBA ain't got no choice. If Joker's like, y'all want to play for Serbia, well, you know what what's Dallas gonna? I mean, Denver gonna do? What Dallas is gonna do if Luka's like, y'all want to play for Serbia?
And the fact that you are NBA sanctioned protects you from that. But do I see this the demise of NBA players playing in pro-am? No, this is not. People are gonna play. I get what they're saying. There's a lot of money on the table, and these teams don't want their players to play. But listen, respectfully, it's gonna happen regardless.
It's freak accident. It's freak accident.
It's an accident. It's,
freak accident.
I mean, would I wanted to see Chet play this year? Of course. I think OKC with a nice young team with him and Shea Gildress and Josh Giddey would have been nice and fun to watch. You know, a new League Pass team, which I know we'll talk about the next episode, like your favorite League Pass teams to watch. But just want to shout him out and say, you know, speedy recovery for him. And the last point I'm going to make, I got 2 more points. So with RJ's contract, him being in that draft, Zion gets the max, 5-year, 193, could be 231. Already an all-star. John Morant, that's right, got the bag. John Morant, 5-year, 193, could be over 200, all-star. And then Darius Garland, 5-year, 193, all-star, got the bag. Well, this could be, and this is no knock on RJ. This could be the year for RJ Barrett. This is like, all right, we see the growth. We see the potential. Now it's time, bro. Obviously, if you stay in New York, this is the time to take over. This is it. You know what I'm saying? I know Randall's there, but bro, you're 22 years old. You are the guy right now that can get 20 a game. This is it.
Let me ask you a really serious question. Another serious question.
Yeah.
Whose team is the Knicks?
That's a tricky question because don't look at me like that. Because right now, if you tell me, who is the main guy, who team is it right now? It's probably leaning towards Randall, but you know, from what he's seen last year on the court and the fans getting to him and all that stuff, they see like maybe he's not the guy. But right now, he's the guy because it's like by default. But RJ Barrett is the next guy to replace Randall. Now, obviously, if Spida comes along, it's going to be Spida's team. But right now, it's Randall's by default until RJ Barrett takes the reign. Who? Am I wrong?
No. Okay. To ask you that because see this, you're speaking about it, you're speaking it out, you question it, and that goes along with where you're gonna be when it comes playoff time, etc. You're talking about you don't even know. It's a question mark of who's gonna yell at
who's the last shot? Who's going to down the stretch?
All these
who's talking in the huddle? Like,
I mean, it's early. That's why I say it's early. You know, mid-season, 50% of the season. So we're talking about January. Mm-hmm. January. Around January, we'll see who's performing, who's not, who's taking lead, who's not. I see Jalen as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I do. He doesn't like to lose.
Right.
He hasn't been in a losing situation in a long time, if you really think about it.
Right. Nova, Mavericks.
He hasn't been in a losing. I mean, you know, getting to the playoffs and playing in the playoffs. That's great experience. So that's experience that how many players in the Knicks have? How many players in this can say they've been to the second round of the Western Conference or Eastern Conference final? Eastern Conference playoffs, excuse me.
Jalen Brunson went to the conference finals. There's nobody. Oh, Derrick Rose. We got Derrick Rose. Conference finals.
Two. And Derrick, and Derrick has obviously been hurt. Pray for him. Hopefully he's healthy. Boom.
Which changed a lot of shit too. I know this is not prime Derrick Rose, but it changed a lot for that team too.
Leadership. You can do so much. Just don't be wrong. You got guys, and Derrick's not a vocal guy. Derrick's not a vocal guy, and you can only do so much from the bench when you're not vocal.
Right.
When you're on the floor, you let your play speak, and then hopefully, that's what Derrick used to do. Come in, see the team needed something. Here's 18 points. Here, take that. His 22. His 26. No one else is playing. His 30. So you have to address that immediately, amongst other things with the Knicks. Okay.
Well, I think Brunson is the first start. I think he gives you that leadership from Dallas and being coached by the Jay Wrights and Jay Kids, and you got Mark Cuban. Like, he has that championship type pedigree. Now he has to bring that. That's why when you ask me right now, who was the main go-to guy, it's probably still Randall. But as far as the leader on the floor, Derrick Rose, Jalen Brunson, main go-to guy is going to be RJ when that time comes. Or if you slide in Donovan, it's going to be Donovan.
How many All-Stars in the Knicks?
It'd be like, how many All-Stars do we have currently? Or
how many former All-Stars on the Knicks currently?
Derrick Rose, Randall, and that's it.
The conversation. Randall sitting at his.
I think that's it.
Randall sitting at his locker.
Yeah.
I'm an All-Star, baby. You just played in conference finals, but were you an All-Star? Were you on the floor with LeBron? Huh?
My last question, RJ Barrett, if he remains a Knick, if RJ Barrett remains a Knick, is he an All-Star this year or next year? Because in the draft class, I mentioned earlier, Zion been there, Ja's been there, Darius Garland's been there, all got the max. Is RJ an All-Star this year or next year?
Next year, bearing no injury next year. The only reason why I say next year is because there's a lot of guards in the East. It's going to be a lot of green lights. So let me give you an example. So would RJ be a 2-3, right?
Be a 2-3.
Right. So Kyrie, you got
as a point guard. I know it was a point guard.
Two. I mean, whatever you two. Yeah, you got you. But again, you got boy from Atlanta.
DeJounte, Trae Young.
You got DeJounte. He's a 2. Okay. Then
you got Zach LaVine. You got DeRozan.
You got DeRozan. You got
Jimmy Butler. Tatum Brown. James Harden.
Again, you. Hey, buddy, you gonna be an All-Star in that group? All right. I'm just saying it's gonna be tough. And I didn't even mention Fred VanVleet. I didn't even mention Fred VanVleet up north. I didn't mention Siakam. He could be 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it'll come down to RJ's defense. If the Knicks are winning and he's producing, he's the two-way player that, I don't do only offense. I could do defense. Yo, put me in an All-Star game. If they're winning.
8th, 9th seed ain't gonna cut it, baby, for All-Star.
So yeah, right? So you're trying to say we need Donovan then?
You need for RJ or Donovan, for that matter, to even sniff All-Star consideration. You got to be 5'6" window.
Hold on, time out. Very last question. You mean to tell me if Donovan gets traded to New York, he may not make the All-Star team?
How many All-Stars did I just mention?
He just made it in the Western Conference, bro.
He made it last year in the West with everybody healthy.
Like last 2 years.
Last 2 years, everybody healthy. Jamal Murray's been out, et cetera, et cetera. Other players that are coming back. We're talking about him coming to the East now with the players I just mentioned. So I'm saying him coming to the East with the players I just mentioned, he's going to be up there. He's going to be in the talks for sure. He's an all-star. Will he be an all-star in the East? It's going to be interesting because there are a lot of all-star guards playing his position.
Wow.
True or false? Am I bugging?
I'm not disputing that. But
3 guards we just mentioned, a handful. I mean, okay. So, let me do this. Let me do this, Randy. DeMar, Donovan, Zach LaVine, Donovan. You could answer that. Jimmy Butler, Donovan.
Don't swing Jimmy.
Don't answer that. Okay. Again, James Harden, Donovan.
He might start. James Harden. He might get voted in.
And we're not even talking about these upstarts. Like, we're not even talking about Maxey.
Like, no, Donovan gets in before Maxey.
You never know. Hey, man, numbers. Also, too, talk about culture and shots available and green lights. That's why I said Javonte Murray.
Green light.
Super green light.
Green light. Donovan, too. He'll get the green light, too.
Donovan is going to
get the green light.
We're not comparing the green lights, bro. We're not comparing the green lights. Donovan has to deal with Jalen, Julius, and RJ. Stop the madness. Increase the peace. When you're talking
he wants to take every shot, but when he wants to shoot the ball, he'll shoot the ball.
Yeah, sure. That's cute. He ain't got the super green. He got the Riddler green. I mean, he got the Riddler green. He ain't got the.
That's not green enough.
It's not green like the tennis court behind you, yeah. Serena Williams.
Who got that green light in the NBA? Who got that green light? Luka, right? The super green light.
the
kryptonite green. Hey. He got the super green light.
Come on, Daddy. Move. Move.
Yep.
You mean you want to talk about green lights? You really want to go into green lights? I'll give you green lights.
Real quick, green lights.
I'll go into green lights. All right, green lights.
Top 5 players with the
I'll give you all
super duper green light.
No, I'm gonna give you all super duper green lights. This is all green lights. This is all like
right now NBA top 5.
Right, I'm gonna give you more than top 5. You'll go through it. Couple. I'll go through a couple. Jimmy, KD, Kyrie, DeMar, Curry.
Jimmy, the super.
Who'd you say? What?
Luka.
No, I already said. We already know that Luka. We already know Luka got the super green. Steph, Clay. Steph, Clay,
not Clay,
from New Orleans, Bi,
Ingram.
Wait, you said Clay don't got the green light?
Not like Steph, not like Luka.
Wait, okay, slow down. Maybe my definition of green lights. Okay, I'm saying Curry and Clay have the same green light, bro. They can pull whenever they feel, however they feel, with their eyes closed. They don't have to have.
Steph goes above Clay, so you negate Clay.
Say, Steph is above.
Steph is above Clay.
There's
Trae Young.
There's Splash Brothers. Oh yeah, Trey.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Super green light is Luka, Trae Young.
I give you. You know why? You know what it is. Let me add to this. Let me add to that. Right. You say super green light. The way green light is super green light. You get the super because there are not a lot of offensive threats around you. So you get the super green light. So, for example, Luka gets a super because he doesn't have too many offensives. Atlanta. That's why even Chicago. I mean, they added Vucevic, so I get that. But, you KD, Kyrie, these guys don't have that much offensive, prowess, offensive prowess around them. So they have the super green light. Just like Cleveland beating Golden State in game set. What game that Cleveland? Kyrie and James both have 41. Super green.
Would you say Ja Morant?
Green light. Super green light. He don't need super. He got other offensive players, but he averages a high assist rate too. So he's a little bit of. But I mean, him and Trey, you see the difference between him and their offensive game. Like Trey scoring. Ja's
Devin,
more
Devin Booker.
balanced, more pass first score. Nah, Trey's scoring and passing,
Devin Booker.
Oh, he's been green since they've been losing in the playoffs. Come on now, he's super green.
Come on, man, stop.
I said Brandon Ingram too, right? I said Brandon Ingram, super green. Like
Giannis?
He deserved it though. So, yeah, Giannis.
There you go. We're gonna finish this up next week. Have a super green light. Who's top 10? When they get the ball, you ain't getting it back.
See, they can give it up. They can give it up. But super green, when I say super green, here's another part. Super green, when I go like this, it better come here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
No questions, no disputes, no debate. Right. Put it right here, baby.
Oh, I got one more guy coming back from injury. It's not Kawhi. Damian Lillard.
Paul got the green too.
Damian Lillard. Ultra green light. Him and Luka might be tied.
This year, Dame's gonna be Green Lantern.
29 shots a game, Dame.
This whole game. He gonna be doing this whole game, bro. All game, 60 a night.
Nah, Dame just chuck him. But
yo, I pray he comes back healthy too. I need to see him doing work. I need to see him doing work.
He come back. Listen, last point. He's healthy. Kawhi's healthy.
Allegedly.
Michael Porter coming back.
Hey,
Murray coming back. That Western Conference. If I'm Spida, I'm getting out of here. I see everybody coming back. Nah, nope, we're not doing this. Utah just by myself. I ain't got my coach. I ain't got my big man. No, get me out of here.
It's gonna be Kevin Durant circa last year in Brooklyn. Here. It's gonna be Kevin Durant circa last year in Brooklyn. Sweet first round. You out of here.
For those who want to follow Denny Blanco on social media, on IG and Twitter, he's at Sir Denny Blanco. Find me on Twitter and IG, Randy J. Cruz, Rendy, the letter JCRUZ. Find the podcast on ballislife.com. Also on youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go ahead, rate, download, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love to the program. For myself and Denny Blanco, Ball is Life. It's in the game. We out.
Ball is life.
Yes, sir.